Today I'm making internet recipes. A few turned out fine. The rest, well, I'd probably use them in a ritual sacrifice, but I might just feed them to my loud neighbor instead. So I was rummaging through my fridge and noticed some items dangerously close to their expiration date. Like any responsible adult, I did the smartest thing possible, ignored them, and scrolled through YouTube for recipes that didn't look too complicated. And because I'm basically a public servant, I tested these recipes so you don't have to. I even rated them because I know how important my opinion is to your life.
Shit. Sorry. Fucking hell.
All right, let's get to it. I had some chicken breast sitting in my fridge for a week because white meat, who even likes it? So I found this recipe.
These are chicken donuts. And no, they're not sweet. Yes, they are amazing. And yes, you have got to make
Never thought I'd say chicken and donuts in the same sentence, yet here we are.
them. Now,
The recipe called for ground chicken, but I didn't have that, so I took matters into my own hands, literally, threw some chicken in a blender and pulverized it until it lost all sense of identity.
most of you know I lost 70 pounds in 6 months naturally, and I built all of my snacks around protein.
She's talking about how she lost weight in 6 months eating high-protein meals. Meanwhile, I lost 2 eggs just opening this carton, so clearly we're both thriving. Anyway, into the ground chicken goes Parmesan cheese, pepper, garlic powder, paprika, 2 surviving eggs, and hot sauce. She recommended Frank's, but I'm using sriracha because, well, I'm Asian.
Each of these have got 28 grams of protein, and they taste like chicken nuggets.
This is officially the first time I've ever had to finger meat into a donut shape, so naturally I put gloves on. Some experiences you just don't want to feel directly.
Buffalo wings had a baby. So
I baked them, took them out, and the hole completely disappeared. Great, my donuts now identify as meatballs. Very progressive.
easy, make them.
Mine look like they got run over by a truck. Overall, I'd give these a 6 out of 10. Tastes exactly like I'd imagine disappointment feels. I'd definitely serve these to someone I mildly dislike, like people who say, Happy Monday. Moving on to the next recipe, I figured I'd double down on this questionable white meat chicken situation, because clearly, making the same mistake twice is a key part of my personality. Chicken chips, because if there's one thing missing from potato chips, it's salmonella. I'm not going to lie, after blending everything, it looked like dog food. Specifically, dog food I'd refuse to feed my dog if I had a dog, which I don't, because responsibility is exhausting. Not gonna lie, this whole process felt deeply wrong, like morally, ethically, spiritually wrong, but I'm already here, so let's keep going. Next, you slice it with a pizza cutter and bake it. And by bake, I mean bake the absolute crap out of it until you're convinced it can't possibly endure more heat. Then bake it another minute just to assert dominance. I mean, I guess it's crunchy in the way that eating handfuls of the Sahara Desert would be crunchy. Perfect if your mouth is annoyingly moist and you hate hydration. I'd definitely feed it to my husband, who would enthusiastically shout, protein, before choking it down.
It's protein. If you're trying to get big.
All right. Let's move on from chicken before I lose what's left of my will to live. Next up, sweet potatoes. The video looked promising, and honestly, how bad could it possibly taste?
We've seen that before.
3 of holiday hits. Today, we're making these crispy and chewy sweet potato balls. If you're gonna
Okay, quick sip of coffee to remind myself joy exists, and let's get started on these balls, because shaping food into balls always improves things.
start with steaming a chopped sweet potato until softened throughout.
So I peeled and chopped the sweet potatoes. The recipe said steam them, but that's adorable. I don't have a steamer because I'm not Martha Stewart, so I boiled them.
Then mash it up and add the tapioca
Mashed it all up with a fork. If lumps were the goal, I nailed it.
flour mix listed in the caption. Knead the mix into a homogeneous dough, then
Just kneaded the dough for 5 minutes, which is exactly 5 minutes longer than I've worked out all week.
shape into 3/4 inch balls to get the perfect ratio of crisp and chewy.
Roll the dough into balls until your hands look like you've committed some sort of crime against Oompa Loompas.
Then fry until crispy and golden, about 3 to 4 minutes, and that's it.
Fried them up. Oil splatter was aggressive. Burned myself for sure. But hey, suffering builds character or something.
You can make these in advance and reheat them in the air fryer. They'll be just as good.
They're balls, sure. Just the kind you'd expect after a particularly harsh winter.
Holiday hits. Today, we're making these crispy and chewy sweet potato balls. If you're gonna make these, make a lot, because these are dangerously addictive.
Tried opening one, but they were scalding. Tasted exactly like the type of balls I never wanted in my mouth. 1 out of 10 would feed to my trash can immediately.
This is boniato ice cream with candy pecan. I made the
Yeah, don't expect it to look like that. I'm making the healthy version because apparently joy is overrated and disappointment is my vibe.
So people have been making ice cream out of cottage cheese. I'm a dietitian and we're gonna try it out today. First, you're
I'm not a dietitian. I just enjoy sabotaging my taste buds because deep down, I'm probably a sadist.
gonna take a container of cottage cheese,
Put in the cottage cheese. If you've ever wondered what cellulite would look like as an ingredient, here's your answer.
some strawberries, some
Next up, strawberries. Their seeds are on the outside, so I guess that makes them the extroverted fruit. Clearly, I can't relate.
honey. Now we're gonna
Honey goes in next. Actually, don't measure, just pour until you forget what you're covering up.
blend this.
Blend everything together until it's fully unrecognizable, just like my enthusiasm for this recipe.
After blending, I'm just gonna add this to a freezer-friendly container, mix in some chopped strawberries and graham crackers, and freeze this for around 2 to 3 hours. Afterwards, we
Transfer to a container. Toss in extra strawberries because denial is powerful. Seal it tightly and banish it to the freezer.
have our strawberry cheesecake ice cream. And now all we have to do is scoop it and top it with some graham crackers.
After a few hours, it's frozen solid and actually scoops like ice cream, which feels suspiciously successful. Sprinkle on some graham crackers.
Take my lactate pill. I'm very lactose intolerant. All right, now I'm ready. That's good.
Skip the lactate because occasionally I prefer the thrill of digestive danger. Taste-wise, it's nothing like strawberry cheesecake ice cream. Solid 3 out of 10. Cottage cheese continues to be a problematic ingredient, but now I've got an entire tube to waste, so buckle up.
Buckle up, buckaroo!
My mom gave me chia seeds because she says they're full of fiber and good for my digestion, which is her passive-aggressive way of criticizing my once-a-week poop schedule. They've sat unopened for a year, but I found a recipe that claims it's basically breakfast tiramisu. I like tiramisu, and since I'm the obedient child of Asian parents, I'm obligated to try it.
I finally tried the viral tiramisu.
Honestly, this actually looked pretty good, so against my better judgment, I was cautiously excited. Don't tell anyone. I have a reputation to uphold.
Chia seed pudding. And let me just say, this is by far my favorite combo yet. As you guys know, I am all about sharing super simple recipes that are perfect if you have a fitness or
Time to get your scale out. This recipe insists on exact measurements for chia seeds, cocoa powder, and Greek yogurt, because apparently the metric system is key to pretending you have your life together. Next, add maple syrup. There's some questionable white stuff floating in mine, but I'm sure that's totally normal. If it's not, well, guess we're rolling the dice today.
fat loss goal. With only 5 ingredients, this recipe was so quick and easy to prepare, and it's loaded with protein and healthy fats to keep you full and satisfied. I can definitely see this becoming my new go-to breakfast. The recipe's in the caption. Enjoy!
So next morning I took it out of the fridge, genuinely excited until I opened it and realized it looked absolutely nothing like the video. Maybe the cocoa powder was supposed to go in separately. Whatever, too late now. It sounded suspicious, looked depressing, and tasted like regret. Solid 1 out of 10. Totally my fault, but mostly my mom's. I'd definitely feed this to her just to prove that chia seeds aren't the solution to all of life's problems. Well, that's it. Recipes I found on the internet to use up questionable items lurking in my fridge. Sure, this was a complete waste of ingredients, but they were headed to the trash anyway, so at least I gave them a proper send-off. If you have other questionable recipes or ingredients you want me to butcher, let me know. I'm cooking now to save money, so clearly I need all the help I can get making edible food. Recipes are below. Try them yourself and prove I'm just fundamentally incapable of following instructions. Anyway, hopefully your results are less depressing than mine. Have a great day, or don't. I'm not your mom.
Blah, 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 blah.